Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. This will be a brief installment, kind of like a landlord we can review here. Um, as many of you know, I've had a sex offender, an Airbnb guest who is a registered sex offender. I'm not sure if he's a pedophile or he raped someone. I'm not sure what the case may be. But anyway, so he's a registered pedophile, and he's been my guest probably for a month or two, 2 months, give or take, in multiple reservations now. By the way, let me do a little house clean before we get started here. Please support the channel. We have multiple ways you can send a cash app to Portia, HB, or me, John Call. Damn, I forgot to update the banner with Stanley. I didn't need to put Stanley's here. And whenever it's just one or two of us on the panel, we're going to be trying out this Streamlab, so you can send super chats, whatever Streamlab super chats, and it'll be read at least in my headphones, if not on the screen over the phone as well, or however you're listening here. But anyway, so well, you've heard me talk quite a bit about how best to like sort your tenants. We even had a stream on the other channel about how universities must do a hell of a job sorting their tenants, their students. Otherwise, they'd be fighting all the time. Disparate views of the world, diversity. End up in a lot of fights and misunderstandings. So you'll see affinity housing in these uh, dorms on campuses. Well, anyway, so back to the Kamala voters, the 93%ers or whatever they voted for Kamala. That's what I call them. So I had a couple Kamala voters, one the sex offender and the other one uh, another guy. And I want to show you some the interaction that they've had. And again, if there was any white person involved, at least he or she would have canceled their reservation today. But in the case of these black guests, they're clearly fighting with each other. They're not happy being in the same home with each other, but they have nowhere else to go. So they continue to want to live there, even though it would be easier for them to just go find them someplace better without all the drama going on. So let me share these emails, these messages that I've been receiving. I wake up first thing this morning, and here are some of the messages that I'm getting. Here's the first message. I think this is it. Yeah, here it is. Let me share my screen. Let me put this here, and I'll share my screen. I slept the wrong way last night. My shoulder is killing me. All right. Let's see what it is. I can hardly raise my head today. Anyway, all right. So here's a message that I received from one of my guests in the house. Hey, these two keep arguing and yelling. I just stopped them from fighting. So I think the person that sent this is one of my like regular guests. He's a pretty big guy. Well, I had a scribble here for me. So he's a pretty big guest. He's an African guy, so he's probably 6'4". He's a security guard. So he was able to stop them. If this were a white guy in the house or a white couple, they're not even going to intervene. They're going to stay in their room, maybe call 911, but they're definitely going to be on the phone with Airbnb saying, "Hey, I need to cancel this reservation." And so this guy says, "I just stopped them from fighting. They won't stop arguing and threatening each other." And again, these is Airbnb guests. These are adults over the age of 50, black males over the age of 50. And as you can see how they behave. And again, you have to keep them together. It's a classic example here. Here's some more emails coming in this morning. And let me share this one with you. And there it is right there. And uh, you'll see this here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. It's a long message. And let me see if I can zoom in. You need to get the guy across from me in control. E or Eric. That's the sex offender. He speaks a lot and is annoying. But today he said, when you going to give me money? I said, what? What are you talking about? He said he helps me, so I should pay him. So what he's talking about here is this guy is on a walker or something. And Eric has been to prison, so he's pulling the prison move on the guy. He helped the guy maybe get up the stairs or something like that, help him take his things upstairs. Then he said, yo, you owe me for me helping you. Ain't nothing free out here. There's no charity. There's no, I'm just helping you out of the kindness of my heart. I helped you up the stairs. Now you owe me money. He says, when you going to give me money? I said, what? What are you talking about? He said he helps me, so I should pay him. I was very upset. I told him to leave me alone. I never asked for anything. And he needs to leave me alone. He kept coming at me. The guy in the room downstairs heard it also and came out. I told him to stop this guy. He just said something and walked back into the room. You need to address this guy. He even said he decked me if I was going to be mean. I said, wait, you threatening me? He said, well, I'm just saying. If he raises his hand, I'll call the police and get him arrested. I'm disabled because of my injury in the army. He needs to be controlled. And you can see that on the screen there. And then from there, I think there was another email here. Let me see if I can share this with you. And here's the other email here. Again, just more of the same bullshit. And this is the latest message that he sent here. Now I'll share my screen. Man, my show just killed me. Here's the latest message that he sent. And you'll see that here. Let me see if I can zoom in and zoom out. Let me show all that. But basically, you'll see he went off again this morning. Basically, I'll read it for you. He says he went off again this morning. What is he saying here? I went to the bathroom. He kept mumbling about something. Let me see if I can share this tab with you. I'm just going to see if I can zoom in a bit. And here it is again. He kept mumbling about something. Then he called out to me. He keeps calling me Khalid. That's not my name, but he doesn't care. He keeps mumbling Khalid. I told him to shut up. I'm not talking to him. Then I closed the door of the bathroom. He kept mumbling when I was in the bathroom. You need to make sure he gets it because he just thinks he can say or do anything. What is he saying? I'm annoyed with him. Stop him. And again, this is just a mix of having, diverse groups of tenants. They pick on each other. They end up fighting with each other. And in this case, both of these guys are pretty homeless here, and they both need a place to live. So they're having to deal with it, or at least the guy complaining is having to deal with the sex offender tenant constantly threatening him. But what's most particularly interesting is, I want to share this with you again for the people that just now entering, is that the sex offender pulled like a prison tactic on the Airbnb guest, and I'll show that here with you. And here it is. And here is a prison tactic that you'll see that the one Airbnb guest, the sex offender, perpetrated on the disabled army veteran. You need to get the guy across from me. He speaks a lot, is annoying, but today he said, when are you going to give me money? I said, what? What are you talking about? He said he helps me, so I should pay him. And in this case, I think that, there's no good deed that doesn't go unpunished. And this guy thought that he was just getting some benevolence from the sex offender, but the sex offender wanted money for his benevolence there because it wasn't benevolence at all. Anyway, I thought there's an instructive stream in terms of how you have to make sure, particularly when you're renting rooms, you have to make sure that the guests are separated by kind of like their social class. It doesn't have to be the race, but definitely their social class. I don't think both of these people are black, but they're both down on the same level socially, economically. And I think it makes for a better fit. It makes for your houses. Maybe not harmonious per se, but at least you'll be profitable. Because again, neither one of these guests are going to cancel their reservation because they have nowhere else to go. If they were more upstanding guests, they would definitely cancel their reservation, and I'd have to give them some portion of a refund back. So again, make sure you mix and match and sort your tenants and guests very well. Otherwise, you will have problems that will go beyond the physical fighting. You will owe these people some kind of refund, money, maybe even get your listing suspended on Airbnb if it's a safety violation. Once again, thank you all for joining. As John Galt there, he never comes up on the panel, but appreciate you for joining anyway. Thanks again, and you guys head over to the other stream here, the Stanley Against the World there. Thanks again for joining.